What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a bit of a different video today. Now, what I want to talk about in today's video is my absolute favorite thing to bet on in the entire world. I attribute so much of our success on my free plan and on my VIP. You guys see, I'm going to go over a lot of stuff today, but I attribute so much success to this very esport, right? And this very strategy that I'm going to teach you in today's video. It's probably going to be a longer one, so if you want to go grab a drink or something like that, be my guest. I would put it on maybe 2x speed as well, but I would definitely watch the entire video. I can guarantee you that if you finish this video, you will be a better sports bettor than you are right in this very second, okay? I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee that you're going to learn something in today's video as well. Even if you've been watching me for a year, 2 years, you will learn something in today's video, okay? So why listen to me? Why listen to me? Right? It's a super, super great question to ask when you're talking, when you're thinking about tailing someone or learning someone's strategy in sports betting. There's so many people out there in the sports betting world, whether it's on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever it is, that do not show their actual performance. They don't show their win and loss record, right? They'll just post when they win. They will not post when they lose. You will see over the past 2 years, we are up 1,000 units, and you're going to see that there's a lot of ups and downs, right? There's a lot of ups and downs across this entire journey, and this is how sports betting goes. You're not going to win every day. I talk about that all the time, but this strategy will make you money long term. I can pretty much guarantee it, all right, as long as you follow what I'm talking about today. Now, this year alone, we are up 118 units in 2026. We're about 5 months into the year, 117 units using the strategy. That means a $5 bettor would be up $600, a $10 bettor would be up $1,100, almost $1,200, and then a $20 bettor, $23, and a $50 bettor, close to $6,000 using this exact strategy if you're in the VIP. And if you are in the VIP, this is going to take you 5 minutes a day because you'll just tail on my bets. Now, if you're not going to be in the VIP, that's completely fine. You can obviously use what I'm teaching because that's what I'm here to do. But it's going to take you quite a while. Like I spend probably 6 to 8 hours a day on PrizePicks, finding picks, researching stuff. And this is the strategy pretty much that I use to research these picks, but it is pretty time consuming, right? I do this day in and day out. So if you want to outsource all that work, I can just send you the bets completely free. Sorry, if you join the VIP, you can get in for free for a couple of ways, but I'll get into that later. Now, what you have to understand is that 95 to 99% of sports bettors lose long term. This is researched. This is a statistically significant data point here. There is a really good chance that, I hate to say it, but most people watching this video right now, that's just how the law of statistics works. If you're watching this video, you're probably a losing sports bettor, right? I know everyone loves to say that they're winning and they know ball and everything like that, but it's just a fact, right? Now, I would like to say that if you take all the sports bettors in the world that are winning, so this 3%, and you have like a guy like literally right here just barely breaking even, and you have literally like the best sports bettor in the world, like the absolute LeBron of sports betting, some crazy guy right here. I would like to say that we're probably in this top percent. We're probably in this top 20, 25th percent right here because again, going up 1,000 units is no small feat, okay? Now, what I'm going to be talking about today is, first of all, using correlation. Okay, using correlation, I will get into that. And second of all, obviously, the sport that I'm going to be talking about is League of Legends. You guys saw it in the title. League of Legends, my absolute favorite esport. I can guarantee you that in today's video, you will know enough about League of Legends to start betting on it. It is completely false that you have to know all the ins and outs of all of this stuff. Like for the NBA, that you have to know how many minutes people get and how much this, how much this, how much that. You do not need to know that in League of Legends. You don't really even need to know that in sports betting at all. The reason being is because of how this game plays out and how a couple of esports play out. Now, what I want to explain is, for example, in football. The reason why I'm going to go to football, and I'm talking about this in mid-May, we're not even thinking about football. Football is a couple months down the road now. But I think football is the number one way, the easiest way to explain correlation and the easiest way to explain the strategy that I use long term. I've explained football, I've explained correlation using football to, people way older than me, people way younger than me, people that know nothing about sports. Every time I explain this, I see a light bulb in their head and they were like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me. Now, how football works, guys, is if I were to show you this score right here, 51-47, this is one of the most highest scoring games ever. This was in 2018, but you'll see this score right here, 51-54. What does this mean to you, right? This means what is, you can predict what probably happened in this game, right? It was probably a super offensive game. You have super good quarterbacks, super good offenses, and you'll see if you scroll down to the stats, Patrick Mahomes almost throws for 500 yards in this game, and Jared Goff throws for 400 yards in this game. The reason being is because of the game script. The game was a super high scoring game. There was back to back, multiple 60, 70 yard passes in this game. And another thing that you'll understand is that if I were to tell you, hey, Patrick Mahomes threw for 500 yards in this game, how many receiving yards do you think his top targets had? Right? And his top targets, by the way, in 2018 were Tyreek Hill and they were Travis Kelce. Well, if we scroll down, Tyreek Hill had 215 yards and Travis Kelce had 127 yards, and pretty much everyone on this team went over, right? And you'll see on the Rams, the top targets of Jared Goff that year were Cooks, Josh Reynolds, Robert Woods. All of these guys as well went over. Even Todd Gurley went over, right? So again, in football, the game script, and if a game is a very high scoring, super offensive game, if Patrick Mahomes throws for 500 yards, then it's almost guaranteed that someone like Travis Kelce, his number one receiver or his number two receiver throughout his entire career, is probably going to get 100 plus yards. Now, if we look at this game, which this is just a random game, I don't remember this game at all. You'll see it was kind of a rainy game and stuff. But if you look at this game, it was literally 6-3. So as you guys are going to understand, it's 6-3. What probably happened in this game? It was super defensive. There was absolutely no offense. It was probably a really ugly game. And you'll see Caleb Williams only throws for 122 yards. And a lot of guys go under, right? DJ Moore probably did go over his line here, but all of these guys go under. Same thing with Geno Smith. He only throws for 160 yards, and all of these guys pretty much go under, right? You can argue Noah Fant, yeah, he went over, but pretty much everyone else went under their line in this game. This was a super defensive battle. And if you took Geno and Jackson Smith-Njigba, or you took, Keenan Allen and you took Caleb Williams in this game to go under together, they would have hit. Same thing with the Chiefs. If you would have taken Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, or Mahomes and Kelce, or Conley or Hunt, they would have went over together, right? So we're going to apply this exact same concept to League of Legends in a couple of ways, okay? Again, how League of Legends works is that if you win the game, so you take a W, you're going to get more kills. It's super intuitive. If you played any video game ever, you'll understand that if you're winning the game, let's say you're playing your friend and you're winning against him, yeah, you're getting a lot of stats, you're having fun, you're getting a lot of kills, you're dominating the game, you're dominating the matchup. It's exactly how League of Legends works. It's super easy. And my absolute favorite website to go to, guys, it's completely free. I'm not sponsored by them at all, I promise you, is sofascore.com. And I recommend everyone, after watching this video, goes to this site and clicks around for 5 minutes, all right? I'm going to leave this link down in the description, and just click around and just see how the games go. You'll see that this game was 0-2. So this team over here, this Gen G team, wins both games. So what happens when they win both games? You'll see the first map was 6-17. So this team over here that lost the game gets less kills. And we can see that right here, right? This guy gets 2, this guy gets 1, this guy gets 1, this guy gets 2. So all of them have lower amount of kills. Now, if we look at this team on the right side, you have this guy at 2, this guy at 0, which is kind of an anomaly. But then you have this guy at 9 and you have this guy at 6, okay? Same thing in the game 2. You'll see that this team loses the game. They get 8 kills only because they lose. This team gets 20 kills, right? And you'll see everyone on this side of the screen, because they win the game, 5 kills, 4 kills, 5 kills, 6 kills. So everyone on this team on the right side, probably other than Canyon, just because he didn't play very well in the first game, but everyone on this team went over their kill total because they won both games, all right? And I could go back to, freaking, last year, and I could click on a random day. And let's just see, October 9th of 2025. And let's see how this game goes, all right? Okay, they don't have stats for it. I'm sorry, guys. I should not have done that. But let's go back to a random day in April, for example, okay? And let's look at this game, a couple of different teams, right? 15-24, so the winning team gets more kills. 8-17, the winning team gets more kills, right? Let's look at this team, for example, right? Here's a winning team, 31-19, 23-9. So hopefully you guys are getting what I'm putting down, right? The winning team is going to get more kills, 32-13. This team over here was the winning team. These guys get a ton of kills. And then the losing team, gets less kills, right? And this is how League of Legends works. It's just like how football works. If I showed you this score and just this, I just showed you 51-54, and just told you this, You'd be like, oh yeah, it's a crazy game. Mahomes probably threw for 500 yards. Goff probably threw for 400 yards. And you would be right. It's the same thing when you tell me, okay, a team 2-0'd their opponent or they won their game by 30 kills. I'm going to tell you that all of these guys probably went over together, okay? So this is what I'm talking about in League of Legends, all right? When they win games, they're going to go over together. Now let's look at some examples. I promise you I just found some random examples of these players. I can actually probably just go through and just find another random example if you want. But this player, for example, if I sort him, this is Pick Finder, by the way. I actually do have a code that you guys can use down below. All this stuff will be in the description. You get a very small discount. It's one of my favorite ways to find plays for League of Legends. But if you sort this guy by the games that he has won both games, so like I said, the games that he has won both of his matchups, you'll see that he's gone over this every single time. If you sort this by the times he has lost, you'll see that he's gone under this every single time, okay? So when he wins, he goes over. When he loses, he goes under. Faker, the best League of Legends player to ever touch the game, right? I looked this up. Who's the best player of League of Legends of all time? Faker. Okay, if I scroll down, who's the number one player? Faker is the number one player. Faker's took the crown. Top 10 players of all, or 20 players of all time. Faker, number one player, okay? So this guy is the Michael Jordan of League of Legends. He is definitively the best player ever. But even he cannot handle when he loses both games. When he loses both games, you'll see that he has gone under this every single time. We can look at his entire career when he's lost both games. It does not happen very much because he plays on one of the best teams and he is one of the best players. But when he loses his games, he's going under, okay? When he wins his games, a lot of the time he's going over together, okay? That is how League of Legends works. When you win, over. When you lose, you go under. That is the most important thing that I can talk about in today's video. If there's one thing to take away from today's video, it is going to be that, okay? Now, one thing I want to touch on is that there is riches in the niches, okay? And this is going to be kind of like a sidebar that I want to talk about in today's video. So this is tennis and how tennis is laid out. All right. Now, a lot of people that out in sports betting will be like, oh man, like betting on esports, that sounds super degenerate, right? You're betting on players to play a video game in their room, right? That sounds super degenerate. I'm going to stick to my NBA bets. I'm going to stick to betting on, you know, the MLB and stuff where, you know, all the serious sports bettors are. They're in the MLB and they're in the NBA. Now, what I truly believe, and you can disagree with me on this, is that there are riches in the niches, okay? Here is tennis and how it's laid out, okay? You have the ADP at the very top. These are players like, you know, Federer, Nadal, you know, Serena Williams, all of these best tennis players, they're in the ADP, the top league, the ADP tour, right? Now, you have levels below that called the Challenger League, okay? And these are players that are maybe top 1,000 in the world, maybe top, you know, 800th in the world, right? Players that are quite a bit lower than them. I truly believe that if you spent most of your time finding a niche sport like this, a challenger level tennis, and you just got really, really good and really, really sharp, and you knew all of these players' ins and outs, and you knew how these games are going to be played, the strength, the weaknesses, this guy's good on clay, this guy's good on grass, this guy's good on, you know, whatever other court they have in tennis, right? You can tell I'm not an expert tennis bettor, but I believe that you're going to make so much more money betting on something like challenger level tennis rather than ADP tennis. And you're going to make so much more money, like way more money betting on challenger level tennis than you would in something like the NBA or the MLB or something like that. The reason being, guys, it's really simple. If you think about the NBA and you think about what everyone bets on, LeBron James points, SGA points, Jokic rebounds, Jokic points, you know, there are millions and millions and millions of dollars flooded into these markets every single day. So the sports books have so much, writing on if they get these lines right or not. Think about how much money has been put on game after game after game after game on LeBron point totals, right? Is he going to go over 24.5? Is he going to go under 27? All of this stuff throughout his career. They have that stuff so honed into a science. It is so difficult to beat that, guys. They have millions and millions and millions of dollars riding on that every single night. Now, if you compare that to challenger level tennis, that is not the case. They don't have millions of dollars compared to, you know, John Doe playing in his tennis game where there's like, you know, 50 people watching. So that's personally what I think. You can disagree with that if you want, but I personally think you're more degenerate, so to speak, and nothing to, you know, offend anyone, but you're more degenerate if you're betting and you're just taking like LeBron over and LeBron under every night, right? You don't have an actual strategy and you don't have actually, you know, something to go towards, okay? Now, going back to League of Legends, right? Going back to League of Legends. you're going to see here are a couple of plays that we've hit in the past couple of days here. And I do want to go over this game as well. It was Cloud9 versus DSG, and you'll see the team that we bet on was Cloud9. It's this blue team right here, and we took their overs together, okay? The reason why we took their overs together is because I thought they would win the game. I was correct. Sometimes I'm correct, sometimes I'm wrong, guys. I'm not going to be right about everything. You're not going to be right about everything either. That is the fact of the matter about sports betting. But the first map was 8-25, okay? And if you look at Cloud9, they all get a ton of kills. 5 kills, 7 kills, 4 kills, 7 kills, all right? And we ended up betting on Blabber and Sven. It was a super easy hit for us. If you look at the second game, it was 4-18, right? 1 kill, 5 kills, 5 kills, 5 kills. All of these guys get a good amount of kills. All of these guys on the left side of the screen do not. So this team loses the game, they go under. This team over here gets a ton of kills and they go over, causing us to hit our line, obviously, and both of these guys go over together. Now, how League of Legends works is I always like to say a rising tide raises all boats, right? This is how correlation works in League of Legends. If you lose the game, both of your, the players that you bet on are going to go under together because they are linked. They are correlated together. It's just like in football. If Patrick Mahomes throws for 100 yards, Travis Kelce's probably getting 30 or 20 yards maximum. If Patrick Mahomes throws for 500 yards, Travis Kelce's probably getting 120, 150, 170 yards in that game. It's very similar in League of Legends. So if they win the game, it's a rising tide raises all boats. Everyone is going to get a ton of kills, and that is why I pair up guys over together and under together, okay? Very, very bonus tip right here. I like pairing up bot laners and mid laners, or bot laners and junglers, or junglers and mid laners, okay? I don't really touch top laners too much, and I never touch the supports. The supports are at the very bottom if you look on SofaScore, and this is why I recommend clicking around SofaScore. These supports are at the bottom. They rarely get kills, so they're not very correlated together. It doesn't really matter if they win or lose in this game. Again, I'm telling you guys, this video is jam-packed. I'm laying a lot of stuff out right now, okay? Now, all of that being said, you might be like, all right, cool. I know that winning teams get more kills, losing teams get less kills. How the freak am I supposed to know if a team's going to win or not in League of Legends? I have absolutely no idea what this esport is. I've never watched a game in my life. How am I supposed to know that a team like Cloud9 versus DSG and Cloud9 is supposed to win this game? Let me show you guys. It is the most insane, easy thing that you would ever understand, but so many people get this wrong and so many people do not think of this stuff. You can go over to Bovada right now, and they have lines for all of these games, just like they have lines for the NBA, just like they have lines for the MLB, for football and everything. They have lines for these actual games. You will see Jin G is favored to beat T1. Team Liquid, they're actually playing today, right? Go figure. They're playing again today. Team Liquid, Cloud9, right? Cloud9's who we've been on. Cloud9, again, they're playing today. They're favored, right? They're slightly favored. And if you guys don't know how odds work, it's kind of out of the scope of this video. You guys can go find out how odds work in their own time. But you'll see that Ninjas in Pajamas, for example, is minus 300 to win this game against Team Wheat. So this is a team that Bovada is saying, and Bovada is very smart, Bovada is saying that Ninjas in Pajamas is heavily favored to win this game. All right, so hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. You have Team Wii that you could potentially take the unders on because they're probably going to lose, and you have Ninjas in Pajamas that they're probably going to win. So what do you think you would do? You'd probably take the overs together, okay? Very simple stuff. It is so simple. Honestly, anyone can do this. But so many people do not think about actually using the sportsbook's odds against themselves, right? You can find this on Bovada. Thunderpick is another site that you can find odds for. Typically, they have odds for kind of smaller games that are maybe happening in like the second division and stuff like that. All right, so my last strategy falls on comparing two sportsbooks. Now, I'm giving out a ton of information in today's video. I hope you guys are learning something. If you are learning something, I highly, highly would appreciate you go down and like this video, comment on this video, whatever it is. It really helps me out for the algorithm. Now, the last way to make money on esports, with League of Legends specifically, is comparing two sportsbooks together, right? So, for example, I found this with maybe 5 minutes of work. You have a guy here, Marble, on League of Legends on PrizePicks, and you'll see his line is at 10 right now. And if you go to Underdog Fantasy, which is another book that I know a lot of you guys have, right? Because I actually have a way that you guys can get into the VIP free for signing up for different apps like Underdog, Novig. Actually, Bovada, I have a code for too. So if you want to get signed up for that and bet on League of Legends, you can do that. You can get in for free to the VIP, and I know a lot of you guys already have Underdog already on your phone or on your computer. Marble right now on Underdog is 7.5. So one book has him at 10, one book has him at 7.5. There is obviously huge discrepancies in these two books. And I would argue that both books are incorrect, right? I would argue that Marble is too low on Underdog at 7.5, and I would argue that Marble is too high on PrizePicks at 10. Now, this is something where I don't want you to just blindly be like, oh, so I'm going to take him under. I want you then to go through all the steps that I just talked about, right? Look at Bovada, find the game being played, which is, I believe, this game right here, which is the Hawks versus, the Vikings here. And then you have, you have research tools and stuff like that. Another research tool you can use called golg.gg, GOL.gg. It's another great research tool, completely free, and you can see how everyone has performed win and loss wise. I'll put that down in the description as well, and you can see how this guy's performed. You can see how this guy has performed in losses. You can see how this guy's performed in wins and stuff like that. So this is going to be something that maybe you want to look into. Maybe we're going to take this guy, maybe we're not. All right, but this is another strategy that you can use comparing these two books together. Now, to finish this whole video off, you might be like, all right, but you didn't actually tell me how to play an actual entry on PrizePicks. What do I actually do that I can start hitting, 2-mans and 3-mans and 4-mans like you do, okay? Now, super simple. If this is your 4-man right here, guys, it is the most simple thing you can ever expect in your life, all right? I would not deviate from this. This is a tried and true proven strategy to win long term. Let's say you have team 1 right here, and you have the player, let's say you have like player 1, right? So you have player 1 on team 1. And then on team 1, you have player 2, right? And this is going to be your 4-man that you build out, all right? So you have one team together, just like, let's just say it's these two guys, like in Cloud9 right here. So you have the team that they're playing on, and then you have one player on the team, and you have the second player on the team. Now you're going to do your research, maybe beforehand or maybe while you're finding the pick, and you're going to either take these guys to go over together, or you're going to take these guys to go under together, okay? And that is as simple as that is, and you're going to take these guys in a 2-man as a part of a 4-man, okay? And then you're going to do that a second time, right? Maybe you're going to take another team, like a team, let's just say it's like team 6, right? And it's just a different team called team 6. And you have team 6 right here, and let's say you take, player 1 on team 6, and you take player 2 on team 6. So they're on the same team right here, correlated together. And let's say, to erase this, let's say you took these guys over together because that's what your research showed. And let's say actually for these guys, you're going to take them under together. This would be a beautiful 4-man entry that you could take. Most of the time, you're going to get about a 9x to a probably like an 8x for this. I would take this all day. This is a great play. I would take this all day. You can spam entries like this, honestly. I would start out, maybe betting half of your bankroll or half of your units. Don't bet half of your bankroll, but bet, just start out betting $1, $2 bets. What's the worst that can happen? I'm telling you guys, this strategy wins long term. You will make money using this strategy over the long term. You might lose 10 in a row, but you also might hit 3 to 4 back to back to back to back like we kind of have this week, right? So beautiful strategy here. Now, with that being said, League of Legends is just scratching the surface. You can do the same thing with Counter-Strike. You can do the same thing with Valorant. You can do the same thing with soccer. If you guys have noticed that I have other plays right here, this is with soccer. And hopefully you guys are kind of understanding how I put plays together. And this would be a beautiful 4-man. And with this 4-man here, guys, why does this work, right? So with that being said, if this team 1, wins the game, so they get a big W in their win column, and this team 6, loses the game, so they take a big L. So you are correct on both of your bets. You only need 2 things to happen. You need a win to happen, and you need a loss to happen. So instead of 4 separate things needing to happen, like let's just say you had an NBA play, and you had a WNBA play, and you had an MLB play, and you had an NHL play, instead of 4 separate things needing to happen, you just need 2 things to happen. You needed a win to happen, and you need a loss to happen. And if that happens, you will get a 9x plus for this payout right here. So this is the key. This is the key. Instead of multiple things and you needing all of this stuff to happen, and I need this guy to rebound, and I need this guy to, the weather, the wind is blowing in golf today, so I need this guy to go under birdies and all this shenanigans. You just need 2 things to happen. You need a team to win. You need a team to lose. If you're going to take the overs, a team to win. If you're going to take the unders, a team to lose. Again, you could take all overs, and for example, that would be something you would do, right? It's going to be based on what you research and stuff. Now, ending this video off, really, 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 truly appreciate if you stuck around. If you did stuck around to the end, guys, I can tell you that you're the type of person that will win long term. You're the type of person that has it in you to have the patience to actually sit through a video like this, an in-depth explanation, and you might have gone from a beginner better to a intermediate better, or intermediate better to advanced better just from watching this video alone. Now, that being said, I have a number of ways to get into the VIP completely free. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but if you don't have Novig, Better, Sleeper, Bovada yet, What else do I have, guys? Colossus Fantasy. I have so many apps out there. My number is going to be down in the description. I'm going to leave everything that I talked about today with SofaScore, with Golg.gg, with Pick Finder, as well as my number down below. If you are interested in joining my VIP and pretty much having me automate all of this for you, it's always good to have more profitable bets, right? So if you want to do this yourself and take 10 bets a day, and then I'll also take 6 to 8 to 10 bets a day as well, you'll just have 20 profitable bets in your inbox, and you're just flooding and just making money long term, right? So super simple stuff. I really appreciate it if you stuck around. Thank you guys so much for watching. Text me if you are interested in my VIP, and thank you guys again. I'll see you when I see you.